What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Sailors Lounge live, Sailors Lounge episode 7. Got some really big news today. We're excited because this is kind of Navy stream. I've had some Navy come in. I've sent the link around, but apparently we only have one Navy. Well, he's also an ambassador with us too. But we have quite a lot to talk about today. Just recently, some news got dropped about Cantina X, so we'll be discussing that later on today. Let's see, everybody's pouring in. What up? Hello, everyone. So we're starting the stream off today. We got Noi. He's a part of the Ocean Ambassadors program with us too. He's part of the French community, and Noi, if you want to introduce yourself.
I'm searching for my text, but I'm going to improvise it. But yes, let's go. So I'm an ambassador for the Ocean Protocol community. I joined the program 6 months ago, I think, in the beginning of this year. So I like very much working on the project, and that's really cool.
Yeah, and he's working on our ambassador website and stuff too.
Yeah.
Aren't you in some projects also?
You mean others than Ocean?
I thought you were in some projects, no? Or
part of the Ocean Protocol ambassador program, or
besides that, yeah.
Yeah, besides that, I am co-founder of a cryptocurrency investment group.
Oh,
so
nice. I didn't know about that.
Now you know.
Okay. All right. Okay, so for everyone that's in today's live stream, I know you guys want to talk about, we got a lot to talk about. Yeah, so let's get this stuff started. So I guess just today, this partnership was just announced. I think I know me and Robin have been discussing about this. It just hasn't been formally discussed. I know with Delta DAO, there's just been some moves just behind the scenes, but now things have been formally announced between the Cantina X, and I think Moby is a part of this, right, Robin? Or
I think Moby is a separated project, But there's a huge overlap between the people who are in Cantina X and, of course, in Moby too. But you can see, this is here is a project about the European Union. And in Moby, there's also partners from all around the world. So that's one big distinction. Here everybody is kind of from Europe, As Cantina X is part of Gaia X, and Gaia X is the 300 billion euro project by the European Union to create infrastructure to do Europe-based governance, and also buying, selling, and sharing of data. It's all about the data. So data marketplaces and, all the things that you want to do with data. And for me, it looks like Ocean is primed to do great things here, because the technology really is really one of a kind, in my opinion. I don't know about any other project that really has the same properties that Ocean has. So Nokia tried right now to make a data marketplace. I'm not sure if you have this on your agenda, but
Nokia.
Nokia. Yeah. So I spent a lot of time to read about what they're doing, and then in the end you realize that so the critical pieces that Ocean is offering, they don't have them. But let's see. What this will all lead to. This in Cantina X, all of these companies. What will they do with the technology? What are their goals? This is not exactly clearly. This information is not clearly given here, but what did they also tweet in the post, that there will be some more news in the next few weeks, May and June?
Yeah.
So maybe that's related to this here. Maybe more concrete
Hopefully.
information. I don't know. It's pure speculation from my end, but yeah, looking forward to it.
Okay, awesome. So I just really got ahead of myself with the Cantina X because we're super excited about that. But so the Build Ocean project that I've started and Sailors Lounge podcast is now officially sponsored by Absentia. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. My Latin's kind of rusty. Just kidding. I've never taken a Latin class before, so. But Absentia is, I guess, latent human capital. Could you, I guess, could you help me on this, Robin? I'm very.
Catalyzing latent human capital for social impact. Yeah, I mean that's like I know Shadi from all the meetings, right? On Ocean Protocol, the town halls, Ocean DAO. So yeah, I mean they are really working towards making science a more a problem that everyone can contribute to.
Yeah, I think they're leading the charge for neuroscientists for like data sharing and things like that. Sorry, it's a bit early. Just kidding. But we will have an episode with them in the coming episodes. We have stuff in the pipeline with them. Also, maybe some Build Ocean merch, possibly. Hint, hint. But yeah. So we are officially sponsored by them.
And we will work on a better sponsor pitch.
I know. So next round, next episode, I'll get better.
We have to make it. We can make a jingle and put it in.
Okay.
I can cut it into the videos, no problem.
Noi, are you good with music?
Computer music, not.
Okay.
I'm not very good at. I use Audacity, so my level is not very.
Okay. I know about Audacity. Okay, so let's catch up on some ocean news from the last 7 days. I think this one's recent, May 3rd to the 9th. What's today, the 10th? Ooh. Okay, so I guess we joined forces with Everest.org. Do you know about this project, Robin?
I don't know too much about it, to be honest.
Everest? Yeah, me neither. This came out of nowhere, to be honest, for me.
Yeah, I mean, here, if you read the headlines, it says it's about identity verification, And there was one more another partnership this week. So like here, I mean, in general, the idea is now for Ocean to add this additional layers, right? So here there's also this Portis.io. So I think both of them, it's about verifying the users for your marketplace. So like now that we can make marketplaces and have as many of them as we want, and you want to also think about, okay, who are you going to let into your marketplace? So then you need like access controls and KYC. Like it depends what you want to sell and which legal jurisdiction you're in. So yeah.
Or I guess that's what we're working on now is identification.
Yeah, so the people, like in many countries, many jurisdictions, it's required to have KYC, so know your customer, and basically then also AML, anti-money laundering. So that's like going hand in hand, and in a way, then the thing is that right now with a wallet on a marketplace, you really can't necessarily know who is behind that, like. And if you want to make a special marketplace, like only for certain customers and where you want to really know who's buying your stuff, then of course you want to have these additional layers. But I mean, basically all of this means that kind of these projects will all work on a solution to integrate their technology into an Ocean marketplace, So these are like add-ons, like you have the marketplace that is now online on market.oceanprotocol.com. Like this shows the basic functionality, what you can do, and then of course you can build a lot of this on top of it. So you can have like any kind of plugins. Something if somebody wants to make a different rating system, could be a plugin. So yeah, establishing this kind of architecture. I mean, in the end, if everything is open source, you could have something like WordPress. It's an Ocean marketplace, but you can then select like all of the plugins. You don't have to do much anymore. You just configure it however you want, and then, I mean, you just run sell your data the way you want it to sell it.
Yeah, this is gonna, I guess. Well, I was just gonna say this is gonna be pretty like wild. I guess just knowing like the implicate, like how big this is, because I mean, so with what Ocean is starting, we're leading the charge in creating a whole new economy, right? So basically we do need like KYC and stuff, but you don't see this in like the crypto like economy. Well, I mean, you do see some KYC stuff, but for the most part, I think it's a mix of both. Like, anonymous. I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's pretty huge. Is there let's see.
Yeah, the voting ended too. I mean, that was last week, right?
The DAO, yes.
The DAO voting, yeah. So
the DAO votes, yeah. I think let's look who our winners were. Yeah, this was so I had like the Pelican proposal up on this.
Yeah.
We were in 12th place, sadly. But it was a good run. I think they don't have the leaderboards.
No, I think it's now they're working on this right now too.
Oh, I think this was the leaderboard.
Oh.
We had like let's see, how many
a ton
votes?
Of votes.
Yeah, there was a lot of votes this time. I kind of do you like this formatting? I kind of like this formatting, the yes and no, and kind of seeing these.
Yeah, I mean, the big change in this round was that you're allowed to vote for as many proposals as you like to. So that was like, yeah, this caused also some interesting discussions. Like it introduced politics into the whole thing. Like if you talk to people and convince them to vote for you, then you can get every project can get all the votes. So
yeah,
I use the Data Union app. I vote to vote for a lot of partners. The ones that basically we're working together with. So like we have a lot of partnerships now. And and then I was criticized for doing that. And yeah, this sparked some good discussions, like it's it's always good, if things surface and you talk about them, you try to find solutions. Yeah, next round is going to be also very interesting. And now they are thinking about changing the format again and again. And next round it will be that you can only do one proposal, but you can do arbitrary amounts. You can choose how much you want. If you say I only need 2,000 tokens, then you can do that. If you say, okay, I want to build something really big, I need much more, you can also propose that. There's lots of options now. Next round is going to be even more interesting than this one.
Yeah, the last town hall was it was like a really good discussion. We went on for almost like an hour and a half, but the whole discussion was just on like, I guess now that we added more votes that anybody could vote, yes or no onto for any project, and you could vote as many times, then it really did bring up this like, politics into the system, because everyone was like, okay, well, I'm partnered with this guy, he's helping me, so have my vote, this and that. And then some people had no votes, and some people were scared about these no votes and stuff, yeah. And it's just crazy, because like with DAOs, it's just it's a whole nother, I guess, ecosystem in itself, right? Because everything you need is like it is basically going to have to be politics, right? In DAO.
In a way, I mean, now the sales aspect, is more becomes more important. That you have to really sell your project. I mean, we are still at the beginning, from my point of view. If me and my rather smallish data union app pool of the marketplace can cause such a big discussion, then we're still a little bit early. Like there, in the end, there's like hundreds of millions of tokens out there, that are available for voting. But I mean, we have like 250,000 roundabout. If those make a big difference and are seen as a large signal, then where are the other millions? So that's basically now one of the steps that is taken to unlock more staking pools, for example, so that these people who are really actively using their tokens, not just lying around, then these people will probably also have interest to also be involved in the governance of the OceanDAO. And on the other side, now there's also the talk about, okay, if you're new in the ecosystem, and like here, a lot of projects, they know each other, they work together. The people that do them, they know each other for a long time. They've been in Ocean since like the beginning. So, and now they have grown into creating this project, and then basically because they like the technology and everything, and then somebody new comes in and they're fresh in the whole situation. Then it's the question, okay, what can we do to help these people to also get grants? Because if like the other projects are so dominant in the ecosystem, then yeah, it's not necessarily the effect that you want to have, that somebody has to wait for a long time and work very hard to get some votes. I mean, here, Resilient ML, for example, they were rejected several times, they were rejected for several rounds, did not get a grant. In this round, they got 2, but they also actively went into the meetings, OceanDAO, and they actively reached out to, for example, the ambassadors and other projects to really help them, and to show their seriousness about the whole ecosystem. And I think that's a good way, but to get in, and I mean they're now in everything. So yeah, let's see. Yeah. I mean, the marketing part will be much more important in the future rounds. So
yeah, it really is. I think this it showed, because I mean what we established, because for us being early, we all developed kind of like this already kind of a community where we're like, okay, hey, let's partner with us. You're doing kind of the same thing. Let's, now we're kind of like, we've kind of made this like circle, but then now we also have like new people coming in, and for those that are coming in new and then are seeing these like massive like votes coming in to like, oh well, these guys are getting votes from these big whales, and like we want more community voters, this and that, and they don't see, I guess, what's already been like created, I think been in the making for these first pass rounds, and then what they see is kind of just I don't know, they feel manipulated in a way, you think? Or
yeah, I mean, if you never saw what happens, and then if the mode is switched, then yeah. But from my point of view, I mean, the last meeting was really intense, because like you did not even have the chance to speak in the first, like, I don't know, 45 minutes if you did not really push hard, because everybody was so eager to be part of the discussion. And I mean, that's something that really is impressive from my point of view. And the arguments and everything was like really intensive. Like I mean, like, yeah, there are some interesting points to be made, and some interesting arguments. So I think one company said they could buy so much Ocean that they could dominate the whole vote, because they have so much money. And they're asking for $10,000, like, and they say they have millions. It was an interesting statement being made, that this was the argumentation, that the way the vote is done right now does not make sense, because they could buy it.
Yeah.
then the communication back was like, okay, no problem, do it. just buy them all. Everybody's like, okay, no problem. They can buy 2 million tokens. It's all right for every one of us. No problem. So, interesting. I mean, interesting points being made, interesting discussions to be had. I think it will not stop here, but it shows that there's really a lot of enthusiasm and also the will to improve the whole system. You know, like everybody is willing to discuss and see other people's argument and try to help each other. You know, and yeah, I think I like it. It's really cool.
Yeah,
I learned a lot in just a few weeks, so it's really good.
Yeah, me too. It's it just really shows, 'cause, like, I guess being a part, if I guess anybody listening out there, just I think it helps to start being active in these. Like, if you're in the crypto community and you're like in some project and they have a DAO, I think it really, like, just the experience and like knowledge that it comes with it is like, it really helps to just be a part of that like DAO, or like start being like a part of like the community. Because it's interesting to see that we're starting to see like online communities start to be more like organized now, and like because of like with blockchain, and then with like voting, and then now we have like token incentives. So it's just really like interesting to see like what's being like made, or what's being what's growing in these like ecosystems. For like the most part, it kind of seems like these are just tiny little like pieces of like little like protocol governments, being like made, because like everybody has I guess, I don't know.
I mean, like in a way, these DAOs, like the communities, if a community has a DAO, then somehow the community is also a little bit like a company. They have this in the background. Then there is financing, then there are projects that can pay out something. Like contributions that can be made for reward, and then suddenly you then have people quitting their normal jobs and just starting to work in these DAOs full time. Then new projects spawn out of that. I mean, and then these projects start to do awesome things. I mean, like just last week, Delta DAO, for example, they started also to talk to basically federal, players, and enterprises to put in a good word for Ocean Protocol. And yeah, so if you have this, that your community is doing your politics for the project, and they're like talking to officials on a very high management level, then for me, this is something that is really outstanding. I mean, I don't know much about many other projects. Okay, maybe in Bitcoin, there's like really large companies that have already evolved and that are paying lobbyists and stuff like this. But I mean, for me, I did not see this in Ocean before. So I'm really happy that things are really moving forward. So
yeah, I mean, the ecosystem in itself is only just barely brand new, right? I mean, we've only just had the market for about what, like 7-8 months, I think. I think it released in October, right? And the DAO was only released in January, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
no, the first round was, I think, in December.
Oh, December, yeah. So
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, just the start of like the new year. So everything is like really fresh and like new. And it's just crazy to see that now crypto, like, I guess with the DAO, how you said it's a company, and I think it's like a company within companies, because like one company creates even more companies within that ecosystem. I mean, if you look at all these projects, like some may not, survive, but the ones that do end up like surviving, they end up becoming their own company within themselves, and they become their own, I don't know, Apple or Amazon. You never know what's going to come out of these like ecosystems, whether it's like Ocean DAO, whether it's like Wi-Fi's, DAO, or any other DAO. Like these ecosystems are building like the incentives for everyone to create their own businesses, and companies.
Yeah, I think that many of these projects that now spin out of this, it's normally difficult to start a company, to start a project, because you will not have funding, and here you can convince the community to give you funding, and I think that's very powerful. You don't have to go to some bank and go through this very difficult process and convince them to give you some credit, or you go to a government-led funding program. But here you are in the community. You convince the people to give you funding, then you have it, and then you do something with it. You show what you can do, and then from there it continues. And I think many of these projects will later also turn into DAOs again. I mean, I can speak the best about Data Union app. I mean, the plan is to have a DAO at some point. To then have a governance token in the DAO, and then first order would be, okay, how many Ocean DAO grants will we give out every month? Just like to support where we got our initial stuff from. So I think in the long term, the ones that are going to be successful are going to try to give back, to where they came from, and then things will just be very interesting in the long run. So let's see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm always telling the people in 1 year, let's talk again in 1 year. From this day on today, in 1 year, then things will be radically different. If I think back 1 year ago, I mean, nothing of this was there. What has happened in 1 year? So that's really crazy.
Yeah,
it's really crazy.
Yeah, a lot can happen in a year. Everybody, I mean, what's that saying? Where there's a saying that that if you just, I guess everything takes incremental steps. Like people want things that are, today or right now or within the next week, but everything that happens within, if you just keep doing that same little task, every single day, add it up to a year, then something big can happen. Add that up to 3 years, then that's even more something, I don't know where I go with this, but we're all on the same page. Things, there's a lot brewing in our little ocean ecosystem, a lot. I guess going back to the fact that you said Delta DAO was talking about, I guess talking to federal governments and stuff.
I mean, Germany, it's a German, all the members are Ocean Protocol ambassadors. All the members are Germans at the moment. So Germany is the main focus. Germany has the strictest privacy laws. So the idea is to crack the privacy laws, to make everything watertight. And then, if it works in Germany, it will work everywhere. That's the logic. I mean, in a way, you need a government stamp. That this is that data tokens, the whole system. How everything is done. I mean, that's basically what Kai and Tobias have been getting also grants for, right? I mean, they want to push in this direction, and I mean, they made some awesome progress now already. Fortunately, I'm up to date on that because it also affects me a lot. So I mean, that's if there's a stamp of approval by the German government that all of this is really, really okay and that everyone can use it and what the rules are, that it's like regulation, and with the regulation comes adoption. So it's the same as with Ocean joining this Cantina X. This shows that these companies have interest. So if you go for regulation with the government and you can tell them, okay, here, the 10 or 15 biggest companies in here in the region, they really want this. I mean, if you look at this, like BMW, VW, I don't know, Siemens, Telecom, Bosch are all really, really big ones. Mercedes, huge companies coming out of Germany, and Fraunhofer, one of the largest research facilities here. ZF Group's also pretty big. SAP, of course. And if then you bring up a proposal that something has to be done so that you can use this technology, then you have much bigger push. If you come alone, it's different, but if you can tell, okay, here are all of these companies that really are on our side, they all sign something, a proposal, then the politicians, they are all connected to these companies. In the end, it's a that's just how it works, And I mean, to get to this position, you really have to convince people, So basically, it took a lot of hard work by Ocean Protocol to convince all of these people or these companies to get into all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just awesome,
Yeah. So I know a lot of chat, I guess, in recent weeks I guess on Twitter or on like the Telegram groups is that like, oh, Ocean token is so slow moving, it's not go up. But the thing is, it's like for us to create this like new data economy, it really needs like we're still early in the days, and we still need like we have to have like the push for these governments and like regulation, and for the most part like Ocean is like pushing a lot for that. And so we're a big I guess like a big leader in pushing for like these regulations so that these data markets can come alive. I don't know if it was Kai that showed about like was it Telecom Deutsch, their like marketplace, and then their marketplace was kind of like I think there was no price.
Nokia and Telecom and some other companies are now also joining or like starting to do data marketplaces, which is a big validation, right, of the Ocean idea that this is a need to have these marketplaces. But the thing is that they don't have these mechanisms, like about creating an economy around the data set, So for either it's like this, you have to know what your price is, It's going to be a static price, and I mean. The price. This is a lengthy topic, but the price for data is always different for in respect to the buyer. There's not one price. So one company wants to use it as a core ingredient, this data, to make, for example, the algorithm. Another company only wants to check their algorithm that they already have. How well it works on this data. The prices that they are willing to pay for the same data is going to be drastically different. And then the ideas in the Ocean marketplace, first of all, the price might be high, and then the companies who are really interested in this as their core business, they will buy it for the high price. Then over time, the amount of swap fees will go down because there's not so much consumption anymore. Then the liquidity providers will move along. The caravan will move along. Then their price goes down. Then the companies come that don't want to price so much, but they still think the data is useful, And like it can also go the other way around, Like if the data gets updated, if something happens, it can always vary. But having this mechanism is something that is so powerful. I mean, none of the other marketplaces have this, so it's I mean, the same goes then for algorithms. You can have the same mechanism also for algorithm. I mean, it works for data assets, right? Not just for data sets, also for algorithms trained on data or other things. Yes. So
that's Did powerful. You? So what was you brought up like the Nokia? I think.
Yeah. It's really awesome. I mean, it's really interesting. I read their paper and the information several times already, just to read all the details. I mean, it's interesting. The difference is like Nokia has like a data marketplace. It's kind of a little bit like Ocean. I mean, it does not have the pricing mechanism. It does not, for example, have reputation really for the algorithms and stuff like this. But it's a commercial product. There's no open source, so you can't really see what you can't change the code. You can't. I mean, you're still relying on them because they have the software. You use their software, and then on the other side, they are using as a blockchain hyperledger. So no public blockchain, so it's basically, you're then also trusting the hyperledger people to also do the things okay, because, it's like, and this is all possible, to do something like this. And there will also be companies that want to use it. But in the end, the difference is that, like, it's not public, but it's like a distributed database, it's like, I don't know. It just doesn't make so much sense from my point of view. But yeah, it's okay. I mean, it validates the idea of Ocean Protocol very much. If they think this makes sense, then yeah, they spent probably a lot of money on this. So yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah, that's so I think we're starting to get to that point where data is going to start becoming more predominant as a genre in the crypto community, if that's kind of like the right word, because I know you remember how Chainlink and then oracles didn't really become talked about in the market till just about last year. The whole I think it was people were starting to talk more and more about oracles during that DeFi summer run back in August or October, and that's when Chainlink really blew up. And so now we're coming to the point where data is going to start to be becoming more and more of that topic. Do you agree?
Wasn't it like this that also somehow I think Google said they are going to do something with Chainlink? I think there was this one catalyst time, I think, when really things went really crazy. But yeah, I mean, one aspect that I also forgot, like Hyperledger, private blockchain. And now I remember why it's a big deal. I mean, in all the Ocean data, like all data sets, the data tokens, become part of the decentralized finance world. That also has not happened so much right now. But you can borrow against this. You can have data tokens. You could use them in Aave or Cream or whatever you want. And yeah, the more the big commercial entities are going to enter this market, the more this is going to happen. And you have to think about, like if then these partners here in Cantina X, they start rolling out the marketplaces, I mean, probably some of them are not going to be publicly available or something like this. I mean, I don't know about details, but in the end, all of them are going to verify that this is the technology of the future. And that's basically what you want, right? So that's also Chainlink. I mean, the Oracle stuff, it's awesome, but it's always then for, let's say you want to have in your app, you want to have the price of some data set. You want to have the Ocean price. So you go to Chainlink, they integrate this for you, and you can pull the Ocean price all the time, So that's okay. But if you want to, for example, pull a camera feed from somewhere, then Chainlink, I don't think it's the way to go. Then it's more like Ocean Protocol is be the thing. So if data sets get complex, if they get large, like Chainlink always you get the information somewhere. But I tweeted this out today. So like data sets on the automotive industry, 56 petabytes, 1 million kilometers driven with a car, all recorded. I mean, you will never send this to somebody. If you want to do it, you have to rent a large truck and buy a lot of hard drives, then copy it on this, and then drive around the world, because over the internet, sending something like this is not possible anymore. And that's the world we're entering, like data is going to be like this. It's going to be so huge, but still so powerful, and then compute to data, or Nokia calls it federated learning. So it's going to be the key factor. But then if it depends then on your own interests. So like, for example, if the data set is owned by people, let's say take the Data Union app or Swash or something, if people are always contributing, they don't care so much, they want to then trade this in the DeFi world. They want to, have fun with it and do something with it. I mean, a company, they are concerned, okay, we only want our customers to access it, but we still want to leverage this, because all the data access governance, like sending data between one company and another one is really complicated. I mean, I'm doing this as in Rolls-Royce. I have these problems even inside the company. One department sharing data with another department. It's a huge problem, And then you have external companies working on the data of your company. then they also have to somehow, then you have to send the data and you have to encrypt it, and it cannot go to the cloud, and you have this problem and that problem and here and there. And Ocean just solves all of this, like you do compute the data. Okay, you have to check which algorithms they want to run so that they don't steal your data. Okay, that's a thing, yes. But I mean, after that, you can do whatever you want. Like that's really awesome.
Mm-hmm. Have you tried the C2D on the market yet, or?
I mean, I tried it already before, so yeah. But no, I did not particularly try it myself. But I mean, like Kai used it already in demonstration. So they also run this. They run this like a workshop group, and so yeah, and yeah, I mean, it just works. I mean, it works, so it's okay for me. But yeah, I still want to put out some of my own. So yeah, at some point I will also offer some algorithms, but probably not on Ethereum. So yeah,
I feel that.
Running an algorithm and paying $20 to run an algorithm is just not really so.
Yeah, I think so. Transport Genie has published it. I don't know if you know about this. Their data set on the.
Yeah, I know the algorithm. So the algorithm basically checks whether there's data and whether this is okay. Like it checks a bunch of properties of the data set, so that like it's not really. You could say there is this and this data in the data set, but it's not there. So they basically have created some verification algorithm to send it there, and then it checks out what's there and gives you some initial information about it. So that's the beginning of something bigger, in my opinion. We will have like tool belts. The people claim this is image data. Okay, now I run some statistical analysis. I buy the algorithm to run some statistical analysis on this, and it gives me information about how many images are, how are the distributions of the color, and like what do I need, which information do I need, and then it can analyze this for you, because you will never be able to really download the data and see it for yourself. So it becomes an indirection, a level of indirection. But the tools for the indirection, those can again be assets on the marketplace that can be bought, so that people who come in, they don't have to do everything from scratch again. It's another market, like for tooling around the data set.
So I guess for me to understand this, since I'm not really in, I'm not a data scientist, or I don't know much about like data, or algorithms, or AI stuff. So I guess for me to understand this, what they just publish, is it just like a data set on the market that you can like purchase, and then the data set you can use to like verify different other data sets on the market, right? Or
so if another data set is like a computation, like a computer data set, then they can either allow all algorithms to be applied to it, which can be concerning, or they can do whitelisting. So if they then whitelist this algorithm here, the verification algorithm, then other people can basically go to the computer data set, that allows the computation, and then there's a list of the whitelisted algorithms, and then they can select, okay, then they will pay for Transport Genie, for their algorithm, and for the data set, together. And then the algorithm will be sent to the data set, and then the output will come back, and then the person who ordered out of this can check it out and can see the results, and then they can make decisions based on this. Yeah. And over time there will be a ton of these algorithms, and yeah.
You said it was concerning. What do you mean by
concerning that? Is if you whitelist everyone, if you whitelist every algorithm, then the algorithm can be copy the data and then send it back to me, to the owner, to the buyer. Then you cannot guarantee for the security of the data itself. So this is one of the biggest nuts that still have to be cracked, in this whole ecosystem, how this can be done very well. But the easy solution is to take some open source algorithm and allow this from GitHub, for example. And then it's like, okay, everybody, it's like thousands of people around the world use it, or 10,000, 100,000 people. Okay, so or there can be also then, I think that's something that is going to establish itself also sooner rather than later, that first of all, there's going to be agencies that are going to do this, like rating the algorithms or then publishing algorithms, which they have reputation. So they only offer the algorithms that are really, good, that will not have any inverse side effects. And they basically take care of this by hiring specialists that are checking the code and then assessing the properties. And then, then you take these algorithms, and then other data sets will then say, okay, these are also good because we also trust them. That's like an establishment of a trust system there. And the other ones will be that basically companies will use this kind of algorithms to then buy data sets and assess the data sets, and then there will be again like a kind of a portal where you can see, okay, this data set is good for this algorithm, this data set is good for that algorithm, and so on. So then,
So
second level markets,
Yeah. So we just C2D, like compute to data, just only released, I guess, not too long ago, and this is the first phase. Do you think? I mean, there's still like a lot more to like be done, right, on the compute to data side. Like, what do you think has to be done for it to like be like a full functioning like thing? Or
I mean, I'm basically taking here some the measures in my own hands. So I've been talking to Trent and to Alex. So they advised me to put my use case on GitHub. So basically, in one of the issues, they have an issue about how the payment streams, how this could look like in the future, and like everybody's invited to add their use cases there, and then there will be basically a discussion about how to go over this the version that is there now. So right now it's also, I think, limited to 1 minute of calculation time. If I run a training on a large data set of, let's say, image data set, can take days, weeks, can run for a long time. The question is then, okay, so the company who runs this will have to pay for the compute resources. So this will be dynamic. And if you, for example, if you have data and the customer should be able to select the dynamic amount of the data that they want to work with, and then you get a lot of these different dynamic properties, and some of these will then also result in a different price. So 1.0 data token for any execution of an algorithm is not necessarily future-proof, but it's a really, really important first step. And from here, you can, there can be changes made and improvements. So iterative working.
So you said you said right now you can only train like 1 minute. What do you mean? So
you can. So it's like there's in the code of computer data, there's like a condition. After 1 minute, basically the compute job is stopped, and then the result is given back. But that's a limit that is written there in the code. So it's just because for now 1 minute is okay for example, for this algorithm here from Transport Genie. This will not run most likely. Okay, if you would have like 20 petabytes of data and it wants to check how much data there is, and then it will probably take longer than 1 minute to search through all of it, But okay, this is not normal. There's no data set yet who has these properties. So it's about limiting how much what can be done or how long something is happening, So there's also a timeout. Otherwise, you start something, you wait. There's no mechanism yet really to show that, there's no feedback mechanism. The data set cannot give you back, hey, we are now in this stage, like we are processing this and this is the current status. This does not really exist yet. So that would also then be something else, that there is there's an option to write out logs into a special folder. And then there would have to be a mechanism that then these logs can already be accessed during the computation time. Then you could again make some kind of interface in the website that then shows what is going on. So then you can basically, in your algorithm, you can have some output, a log file, basically that is created while it's running. And then during the processing time, you can then already look at this, so that there is some feedback, what's going on in the compute job that you're running right now. But, like one step after the other. So now there's computer data, and there can be algorithms and data set that allow it. That's already a big change, in my opinion.
So you'd have to keep doing like the 1 minute, I guess, or you have to keep training every minute if it's like done. If your data set takes like, I don't know, 2 hours, would you
You
have
will
to
not do it like this. You wait
yeah.
until there's an update and then
Oh.
you do it. Yeah,
So
I mean
okay. Okay.
it's inevitable, like I mean
Mm.
the projects need it. I mean I'm taking here a little bit a leader role because
Mm.
the data union app I'm saying okay, if you don't have this, I can't sell anything. So we need it, and then I'm trying to take the measures in my own hand to consult with them to make clear what we need to then whether I hire somebody to do it myself, whether we look for a grant, how it is going to happen. But in the end, we will make it happen. So that's just the way it is, like otherwise it would be, most use cases, I think from my point of view, many use cases will be like this. So it's really okay, to hand out something that works but doesn't work for everything. Like you can't. I mean, you will find in 5 years people will find a use case where they say, here we need this and this and this, but it's not supported. Okay, then you look how you can also cater to that need. But in the beginning, you want to be able to show people that really something like this is possible because it was not possible before, on such a marketplace. So that's already something, right?
Yeah. Step by step, little by little. Noi, you've been pretty quiet. Do you have any? I think so. Noi's like Noi's ambassador for our French community. I just wanted to ask, do you have any things that like what's the talk around the French community?
Oh, not very much. I think the French community is not huge comparing to others. It will be huge, I think, in the next months because I think the Telegram channel will be taken by someone else, and and on my side, I'm trying to translate some articles. I'm doing myself some threads on my Twitter account to French people, and in the French community there is no so much waves.
Are they, Robin? Do you think they're like French companies or what? I think is everything right now just locally, just right now being pushed in Germany, or
No.
I think or the UK also, or
No, I mean, like in general,
Mhm.
there's the coincidence is that these ambassadors from Germany are very active in this direction, but in a way, this is also spearheading the approach for everyone else. Like the materials will be shared, the knowledge will be shared. So you have to start somewhere, and coincidentally, it started like this. So I don't think that means that there's like it cannot work somewhere else, but it's just a very strong push from this part of the community. So it's okay.
Yeah, and to hype a little bit the French community, I'm going in the next few weeks give a speech about Ocean in a few communities about crypto, about the blockchain, etc. So I think doing this on the few huge Discord on the French community, it will be good for the French hype.
So we got a question here from Hebian Loop.
That's Shadi.
Yeah, I know. What up, Shadi? So, what do you think about the parallels between running HPC jobs and computed data? For example, job managers like QSubstat and performance metrics are critical to diagnose jobs. I imagine a similar set of tools dashboard would be useful for computed data.
So basically, right now, if you look in the documentation of computer data, then there's one folder where you can write the result, and there's one folder for the logs. Then it would be necessary basically to have a tool that could already attach to these log files while the program is running, and then you could you could show them these outputs on a dashboard, and yeah, that this could be a tool like this, so that you can see all of this. And yeah, HPC jobs, I mean, it's very similar. Yeah, I mean, this is a very good parallel, because the HPC job also runs on some cluster, which is not necessarily under your control. And computer data is kind of a similar thing. It's like it runs on some infrastructure that is not under your control. And as you're saying, there has to be some feedback mechanism, yes. So you can see, and I mean, the best thing would also be that you could stop it at some point if you then discover in your dashboard tool, okay, it seems like something is going wrong, but it will continue forever or something. And yeah, that's why the 1 minute now is there, so that if something goes wrong, it will not continue forever or something,
What is
With
HPC?
High performance computing. So that's like if you look, for example, like weather data is now crunched on machines with like thousands, 10,000, 100,000 CPUs, and they're these huge machines, like for scientific purposes, for example.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Shadi knows his stuff. He works in neuroscience, so they also have petabytes of data sets. So I mean, for them, it's also very clear that you can't move the data around anymore. Transfer learning, yeah, market dynamics, yeah. This is going to be very huge, in my opinion. I mean, this is also I mean, I can speak about it from Data Union app point of view. We are going to work very much in this direction. Basically, somebody tries something, train something. In this case, transfer learning. Let's explain it a little bit. So it's like somebody trains an algorithm, and basically you then have like a lot of layers of deep neural network. And in the very top, you have some layers which then do the decisions. Like if you want to have cats and dogs decision, there will be cats and dogs decided in the very top. And underneath all of this, it learns all the features, to distinguish many things. But then in the end, if you want to do transfer learning, you say, okay, I don't care so much about cats and dogs anymore. I want to distinguish, let's say, lions and pumas or something like that, some other kind of animals. Then you cut off the top layer, you add your own layer on top, and then you can train it again. But you basically gain all the knowledge and all the computation that was used to train the initial network. You can gain that. And that's like a huge chance for humanity, to also reduce our carbon footprint. Because machine learning in itself is very energy intensive. And if we continue to train more and more and more, it's also not so good. But transfer learning, if you can basically sell just the lower part, the ones that doesn't necessarily make the decision, but the one that you paid the most money for to train it, to gather all the knowledge out of all of the data, and then you can basically resell this. I think that is also a great asset class for the ocean market. You could have something, then you can then have chains. You have something. You have an algorithm, and the algorithm pulls in a specific model, for transfer learning, and then it is applied to a data set. So, for example, something like this. But again, it's another step of redirection, not available right now, but for sure something that will be built over time. And I think the good, then basically the models built on each other, they become more complex. You can then save a lot of time. If you take GPT-3 or, for example, from OpenAI, it trains for weeks on a lot of GPUs, and in the end, it produces a file that is maybe some gigabytes, and all the knowledge is compressed into this. And then you want to do transfer learning. You train something else on top of the knowledge that is already included in this model, and then you save a lot of time to get to your results. To solve your specific problem.
That's you said that training these I guess training takes a lot of energy, I guess that'll be another topic in the future, because how everyone's talking about, Bitcoin is bad for the environment. Are we going to talk about AI is bad for the environment?
Actually, Jan LeCun, one of the big guys at Facebook, Facebook's machine learning department, he's already talking about it. I mean, it's a topic in the industry. So now the idea is to develop algorithms which are more energy efficient in their training. That's a valid point. I mean, the other point is then to have more open marketplaces for transfer learning. You know, in the research industry, for example, for natural language processing for NLP, is a project called Hugging Faces data. So Hugging Faces, I mean, it sounds a little bit like humorous, but in the end, they are a community who are building all the NLP stuff in an open source manner. So there you can do this transfer learning, and for this natural language processing models, it also needs a huge amount of compute. And yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I'm not quite sure if in the future everybody will give out want to give out their models for free. You know, they paid a lot for the training. In the research industry, probably yes, but in the commercial industry, probably no.
Is the models? I guess will models be another form of asset now that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is the trained algorithm. Noé has to leave us. All right, Noé, take care.
Yeah, everyone, goodbye. Have a good live and stream. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us.
All right, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah, I mean, Shadi was asking. He is waiting for the transfer button. So I mean, in the end, that would be like, I mean, this can be interpreted in many different ways, but a transfer is then something where the question is like, should you be able to transfer the model out of the marketplace, or I think it will, if you have it as a new asset, which you can then use in an algorithm, you know, to then train something else, to have like a baseline for your personal training, to save money. You know, like the computer data job will be much cheaper if you have some existing knowledge already. You know, there can then also be like predictions and interpretations and measurements, and then that you can rely on data again that can give you the information how much you save if you would now either start from scratch or if you would use the transfer learning instead. So then it becomes really interesting. I mean, in the research industry, people are giving out the models, then it's very easy to do the transfer learning. But if you have a commercially trained model on proprietary data, you know, like, then you don't want to necessarily hand it out for free. But on a marketplace, if you have it on a data marketplace, of course, that's going to be interesting. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Shadi. NLP that's true. Yes, I think it's going to come, the NLP stuff. Hugging Faces is for free, you know, like you have to find the commercial guys, and then they have to think about selling their stuff. The thing is that Ocean is not necessarily known by a whole lot of the industry. So
what's NLP? Natural
language processing. So, for example, if you want to gather the meaning of text, you know, like, or translate it, for example, if you want to translate from one language into another, then there's like huge models that can do that. So there are now like models that can translate between many different languages, and they're making huge progress in this direction. So,
like CP3O?
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, in a way, yeah. I mean, it's if you talk to Siri and Alexa and so on, you know, this is also like natural language processing, you know.
Well, CP3O, I don't know if you know Star Wars.
I know Star Wars, of course. Yeah. Sure, why not? Yes.
You know, CP3O is the
translation bot, yes.
Yeah, translation bot. So I guess that's also kind of the same. We're all building CP3Os.
I mean, in a way, Google Translate is a little bit like this already, right? But then you also want to make it possible that people can talk, and then it should be directly translated, you know, and so on. So, I mean, I know one company, Epic Protocol. So they're like one of the partners of Data Union app. They are from China, and they are making a Data Union about vocal data, you know, like speech data. So they're building a knowledge graph around this, and yeah, they're also now I'm not sure if I can tell this, but they're also interested or talking to me about the marketplace. So maybe we'll have a data set sooner rather than later. Let's see.
Okay. Well, what's I seen you guys partner, I guess, with them. Is that just what they're about, or?
I mean, we did not release much information about all of this yet, so
Yeah.
I did not make a blog article about all the partnerships and so on. But soon. I hope soon that we can. We will have the medium to talk about this all, and then we will see.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they have an app. They have an app on. You can download it on your phone. It's not available in every country, but there you can basically. It's a gamified version of collecting data for their knowledge graph. And it's not 100% like a data union. It's not necessarily exactly the way we do it, because I mean you get paid for what you do, right? So you can get also their tokens and so on in the app, but you don't necessarily retain this ownership, long term. So it's a different approach. I mean, many projects do it differently. So
okay,
let's see.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll see what the future holds. I'm ready for that data union moon.
I mean, I see this the same way with Ocean, right? I mean, you build your stuff. I'm not looking to make any hype or something. It's like you build your stuff, you make progress. As long as you don't run out of funding, it's all right, And then in the end, you try to bring it to the market. So, and next, I mean, there's like really coincidences. I now met a guy from Venezuela in the token engineering class. So I'm now taking this class to really make a good ecosystem for data union app. And there was somebody joined from Venezuela. Immediately I got the call. Now I'm presenting in Caracas, Venezuela, about data union app. They're going to try to mentor me what we should take care of to make the Venezuelans happy with the app. And then they want to plan a big launch event with us, to make this public. And I mean, Venezuela is a great country. A grandma goes into a bakery and pays with her crypto wallet for the bread that she buys.
Yeah.
So you have to think, like this is not imaginable anywhere. Like everybody in the country knows about crypto. Everybody kind of has used it before. Everybody is normal for them.
I think
that's
I think it's really dominant there because there's their Bolera or
Bolivar.
Bolivar has no, I guess, value. So everyone's using crypto.
$1 is 28 million of Bolivar. So, and since I mean, like it's really good to have the facts. Since 1 month ago, the prices in the shops are in dollar, not in their local currency anymore. And everybody in their mind has like two sides, like what's this, what's that, and like the bank account show the balance in dollars. You negotiate with your job, the salary in dollars, So things have really changed. It's like it's a very different world, and the people still make very little money. Like for example, there's now also a project called Proof of Humanity. So they're also giving out universal basic income. So so there you don't have to do so much to get the tokens. They're minting a lot of tokens. But if you look at data union app, it's the same, right? I mean, like everybody there has a normal job and then 3 other little things next to it, whether it's like baking bread at home or helping the people in your neighborhood to fix their cars or something like this, just for the extra income because you need something, And everybody wants to work for a company outside of Venezuela. So
interesting.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's gonna be the future. I guess one more question before we kind of like close out. Shadi said, what do you guys think about Google's new data set search engine? What is I guess you search the data sets on this. There's
I mean, I checked it out already. Somebody was asking me why does even but why does Ocean still exist? If there's something like this. But I mean, the answer is very easy. We can't give out everything for free. I mean, it's great. It's also great for us to verify easily whether somebody has now just downloaded the data set and is looking to sell this, or it's whether it's something genuine, like for the community itself. But I mean, in the end, it's really it shows also that there's like that there's interest, that it's important, so.
It is. This is that first step, and I mean, it is Google also. So I mean, why wouldn't Ocean still exist? Ocean is a decentralized platform that anybody can, use, buy and sell. I think with Google, there's still a central authority.
Probably at some point, the data sets on the marketplace, on the marketplaces, will probably also show up in their search engine. Possibly, right? I don't know. Should be. I mean, there are also data sets, right? So.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that point. I think I can't wait for data set stocks.
We have one already, right? I mean, this is the Trend.
Which one?
Trend did this. Trend created a Balitzer pool with like the top nine, I think.
Yeah, that was index.
But it's still it's an index, yeah. But what were you talking, like a stock?
Yeah, like I guess like data set stock, as in like I think we partnered with Injective Lab, and you could, I guess, basically trade, just like how the stock market is for these, I guess data sets. I guess
they have derivatives.
Yeah, yeah, basically. So now you're betting on, like, say, Data Union data set as like a stock share of, it's kind of like the same as having like a stock share in like Apple or Amazon. Like you just buy some stocks and
I would do it 100 times long, no problem. Margin trading on Data Union.
5x leverage long on the Data Union.
2050, no problem. It's all right. It's all right. I know many people who are in it, so who are holding since a long time. So I know they will not destroy it or short me or something. It's okay.
Cool. So before we end the stream, I just want to say #save the Pelican.
The next round is coming, yeah. But I mean, I want to try that you can, we can make a little bit extra tasks in the ambassador program.
Yeah, so, no, I'm working on the Trello right now for it.
That's good.
So yeah, the Pelican will come alive as a newsletter. So it'll come alive. It'll come alive. And then some Build Ocean news. We just we're working on some new merch stuff. Yeah, we're working on a line, I guess. I'm also working on a new I guess official Sailors Lounge merch shirt, possibly in the near future. Yeah, this can be cool.
For sure. Sailors Lounge branding. That sounds awesome.
Right.
Yeah. That's
any closing statements? That's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah, but I mean, like what I was thinking is like I initially, when we did this episode, I was thinking that there would be more people coming on the stream.
Yeah.
Did we mess this up, or were the people just too shy?
I think a mix of both. I don't know. Well, the way we stream is kind of, we're in the morning, so if you're, I guess, Pacific time, it's like 7 a.m., pretty early morning, and then everybody else is kind of like afternoonish. And some people are right now, I guess if you're in your time, it's kind of like work hours. So most people are still like in business calls, meetings, or at work, that type of thing. So I don't know. I guess it's just hard. Like, so for those that didn't know, I wanted this episode to be like a Navy stream. So we'd have like, crypto narwhal, just a bunch of, big influencer, like dominant influencers of the ocean ecosystem on our stream, and we'd like talk. But I guess timing, and everything doesn't work out. So this stream was kind of just a winging it.
No, I mean, but there's the, I mean, for me, it's a step by step, right? So now, I mean, next time we could either try to also collect questions in advance, then it would be a little bit more AMA style, or we can really nail somebody down, you know. They don't have to a landing page.
Yeah,
That's Biddle. I mean, we have to. We can make some tasks for that also. I think that's good. We will now have, like Shadi, we will now have a website for the ocean ambassadors. That's like what Noé is working on. I mean, we already have like the web space. We now have to figure out the top level domain, but then we can also advertise on there. So yeah, we can then also maybe have the landing page as a sub page of this page. I think it's really good that the ambassadors have more like of a presence, you know. Not just the channels.
Yeah, that's what I wanted buildocean.com to be, was like kind of like that landing page for the Sailors Lounge and previous.
Or like this.
But well, the thing is, I kind of stopped. I guess, production on BuildOcean just because we are now partnering with Ocean Pearl. Well, I kind of just got onboarded with them to like, you know, so
they recruited you.
Yeah, basically.
To get your creative powers into their organization.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also looking for somebody for marketing for Data Union app, actually.
Oh, wink, wink.
If you have some time.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
We can talk.
Yeah, we can talk about it. But I guess so for those that don't know, Ocean Pearl, it will be like an ecosystem tracker. So it's just going to be a one-stop shop website for everyone that wants to know about the projects being built. It's going to track like the different ecosystem projects and what they're doing, what they're building, how they're using the grant money. And then we'd have like a separate, well, I don't know if it's going to be a separate, but also a link to like BuildOcean, to where BuildOcean will be that separate page of like, you can get your BuildOcean merch. And then we'll have like the Sailors Lounge podcast. And yeah, I think I do need to make maybe a Google Calendar. But right now I think I'm lining up some guests for the next episodes. So I think this community stream was just a test run for now, where it's going to be invitation only type of thing. So
yeah, I mean, I like to mix it up. You know, we had like very different streams in the past. I mean, at the beginning was kind of the same format, but now I think we can, mixing it up always is also not such a bad idea, to see what really works and what doesn't work. But yeah, I mean, what I wanted to say about Project Pearl, I mean, this is something that I think is really important for the Ocean DAO. So I also strongly support the project to have like a page, you know, if you want to vote, that you know about what you're voting for in a more compressed manner than having to go to the forums and read like 10 pages of text, you know, like more clear KPIs, you know, like, okay, what came out of it already? What are the results about these projects? When did they get money? How long did it take? And how often did they get something? And yeah, what you know, like that, it's more easy also for the token holders to distinguish or to get a better impression, you know, to have it easier to form an opinion about what's going on and what should be supported, you know. I think that's very important to have something like this. At the moment, it's very, you know, only if you spend a lot of time, only if you're really into all of this, you can give out, you can have a good opinion, and this complexity should be reduced drastically, and that's what Pearl is about, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what I also brought up in that topic of the town hall, to where I guess everyone wants, like, okay, we want more voters, right? More voter participation. And the thing is, like, if you're so for the most part, the community is kind of split between those that like hold Ocean token and kind of just like see Ocean token, I guess, like kind of like face value. And then there's those that are just deep in the ecosystem, you know, like us, kind of like building things or like just being a part of the town hall like every week, and you know, just really like active in the community. And so like for the people that like vote on these projects, it's really the people that are just like super into the like ecosystem. Like you really have to know like, okay, the like, oh, Data Union app is building them, and you know, I've seen what they're like building, or seen like, you know, Project Pearl, this and that. And for the most part, like the votes we have now, I think are just I guess a reflection of just really like deep Ocean like community like members, you know, like these are.
Yeah, I mean, some if like somebody, if like 200,000 votes is already a dominating factor to make decisions,
Mhm.
then I think that sooner or rather than later, you know, if all of this becomes easier, then
Yeah.
the numbers will change. You know, I mean, it would be great to see like the top project with like 10 million votes or something like this. That would be something that would be really cool. You know?
Yeah.
And then you can, then also it's much more valued. You know, it's also good for the project if they see, wow, so many people, so many tokens are standing behind us. You know, it's like gives more, makes the community feeling stronger, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think we just need that platform of a platform to like really like have you know, just I guess a platform for everything to be on. That way everybody can track. And the thing, what I was thinking about like buildocean like .com, since we like have this like whole platform, I guess a social media platform. So I was just thinking like, oh, what if there's a Facebook for Ocean, and it's just all like Ocean stuff, but it's like a Facebook, you know? Then I was just thinking that most of these protocols can then also have their own, like, I know a lot of everyone talks about like how, oh, decentralized Twitter, decentralized, you know, Facebook, this and that. It's like, then, you know, each, what if like, so I was, what I'm imagining is like, what if like each ecosystem has their own Facebook? So like an Ocean Facebook, or there's like an Ethereum community Facebook that everybody that's a part of like the ETH community is on that, like, you know, Facebook, and it just, you know, all different social networks, basically.
A very good first step would be a platform. I can say I can message to the people that are providing liquidity in my pool, or the people that hold my data token. You know, it's like, I don't understand why this is not there yet. You know, like you have a wallet, I can identify myself, you know, it's my identity. And then I want to be able to send a message to somebody like this, you know, that then it becomes like instant messenger, but instead of using an email and the password, you use a wallet, you know, you log into the page, you know, okay, then you can search, you can address a group, for example, you can directly communicate with them. That would be cool, because, you know, like for me, in the Data Union app, we're using the wallets as the identity, so we don't there's no username password anymore. Nobody cares, you know. Your contributions are tied to your wallet. If you share this with somebody else, you can all use the same wallet. I don't care, you know. But in the end, this is your identity, and then it would be really cool if I could contact, you know, these people. If I could write to them, if I can you know, exchange messages. I don't even have to meet face to face. It's, you know, they can stay anonymous. That's not a problem for me. But then you can involve them into decisions, you know. And if you, for example, could then send out a message to all Ocean token holders, you know, and only if they log into this page, which offers the service, then they can see the message, you know. They have to log in. It's basically, you can do it via this, you know, like it can be encrypted, for example. You know the public key of them, and then you can encrypt it, that they only can decrypt it with their private key. You can do this then by, you know, the protocol, just like having the Ethereum wallet already allows all of this. That would be really cool, you know, like a messaging service only for the crypto people. It works with your crypto wallet. It's, you know, it's your wallet. You can communicate to other people. You can get communication to yourself. Maybe you can also make a Twitter feed or something like this. But
I think the one problem would be like, so if you were would just be doxing your wallet. No, because like if you did have like an instant messenger of like, and then you have the public key of someone, you could just basically copy that and then put it
Public
on
key
Ether,
doesn't.
right? Or put it on Etherscan and then just look at the person's like financials, right? Like how many tokens or like what their wallet balance is. I think maybe another step would just be having like a private type of thing to where, you know, you can private your financial like transactions, right?
I mean, if you
'Cause
do
I
it like
think
if you do it indirectly, for example, like that you can address, for example, a liquidity pool, you know, like everyone in the liquidity pool gets a message, then it's not so direct anymore. You know, like with the graph, you can pull all the people who are liquidity providers, for example, or you could also, if you make a message to all Ocean token holders, hey, this and this news, you know, then it could be a news feed that is not depending on Twitter anymore, but like because you know from the blockchain that this wallet is a holder, you know, then you don't exactly know that it's like this. It's more of a broadcast, you know. It's
oh, okay.
not a direct connection. It's a broadcast in a way,
Oh,
and then it's also different, you know.
okay.
But you're right. I mean, if you dox yourself, it's not so clever. You should not do this.
Yeah, I was thinking that you wanted to private message someone, I guess, wallet to wallet. I mean, that'd be interesting too, but that also leaves the question of like doxing your whole like financial transactions and, you know, things like that. I
Or
think.
you can do something like this, that you create a wallet especially for this purpose, you know, which then might also be 3-boxing or something like this. But I mean, you could then have you can have like your identity. Maybe that's then your account for the NFTs, you know. That's where you show your swag and stuff like this. Your NFTs are on this one. And maybe then you have another one for the financial stuff, you know, that it does not necessarily have to be the same one. I mean, creating a wallet is like 2 clicks or something like this, right?
Yeah,
Easy.
it's
And then
it's just a simple buy, one buy or instant buy on Amazon your Trezor and then set it up and you're good to go.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, in a way, in a way, then the data again, you know, like the data that is produced by all of this, can then also sell it as a data center. You can then run this. You can then run analysis on this. You know, like I mean, but yeah, maybe there would be there's probably some way with cryptography that you could do direct messaging, and like maybe even some accounts on top of the wallets without having to really expose it. But I mean, I'm not so much of the crypto expert. I would ask Anish from Panther Protocol, you know, Anish Mohammed, who's also an advisor for Ocean Protocol, and he is like a ambassador as well. I mean, before you joined, and he now has this project Panther Protocol, where they basically want to make all assets, you know, like all transactions, you can choose that they are private. You know, you can only everything is like with Zkey snarks. Everything is like private. You know, by default, you go into their world, which is a layer on top of, for example, Ethereum or any other kind of blockchain. And in this world, all transactions are private. But if you want to disclose the information to somebody, you can do it. You know, and then with this technology, something like this private messaging would also be no issue.
Isn't that what Secret is also building, or Secret is different because it's
Secret is
like
different because they have their own blockchain. You know. They're not a layer on top of this. So the Panther protocol basically allows this to run on top of everything else without any interference. It's not extra. It does not go in this direction. You can then have like, I don't know whether it's called shadow assets, or I think they have a fancy name for this. I did not read the updates in the last weeks, but I think it's. I mean, they're experts, you know, for crypto and then for this cryptography stuff, and so yeah.
So basically, you'd have like you go through Panther, and then you'd have all these like shadow assets, and then what? So, but it's still on the Ethereum layer, right? And so it would just, I guess my Etherscan would show less transactions.
It cannot really determine what you did, you know.
Yeah.
I think. But we have to wait for the prototype. They're building an MVP right now. I also sent them some engineers that I know who are looking for work. So let's see.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see what's up. There's a lot that's gonna be, you know, there's a lot, I guess. anyways,
I think we can't even imagine what is possible right now. It's like
yeah, it's
nobody knows. When the tools are there, people will come up with ideas,
yeah.
and then they will do stuff, and then we will all profit.
Was it?
1 year from now, we will make an episode, and then
Yeah,
the 1 year anniversary of the Sailors Lounge. That will be an awesome event.
yeah.
Looking
I hope
forward.
it's a live stream physically in Germany.
Let's see where I will be in 1 year. I'm not quite sure, but
Yeah, or we can have our own sailors lounge, private
on a sailing
island.
boat.
Oh, honestly, yacht.
Live from a boat, in the middle of the ocean.
Ooh, that would be
Reporting in German Robin. Okay. I think we should end it here. This is just getting absurd, but
yeah, definitely. And then yeah, hopefully everybody liked the stream. Anyways, thanks for everybody that tuned in. Laugh emoji. Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. This is episode Ibiza. Yes, yacht on Ibiza. This has been a cool episode 7. I'm really glad that everybody has shown some support for the Sailors Lounge podcast. We do really need, like, I don't know, this is fun for me because kind of like brings the whole like community get together. And this is like, I think we needed a podcast to where it's just kind of laid back, not as like interviewee type of thing, to where we just like discuss and talk. So yeah, I'm really glad for everybody's response. Everybody's been telling me love the podcast, and honestly, like, I'm really glad for all of you supporters out there for making this happen. Our ocean navy, ocean sailors is a strong community, and so we're all in this together. But anyways, we yeah, so the next Sailors Lounge episode 8 will be in 2 weeks from now on Monday. So every second Monday, we'll be discussing. Actually, we'll have a guest for the next episode. I'm in the works of lining someone up. So I think the next few episodes we'll start seeing some guests. So we might not do some current events for that. Anyways, I'm just
maybe interleave. Maybe every second one is then current events, and then one guest or something like this. But let's see.
Yeah,
we can discuss this. Yeah, but I wanted to also say another time, thank you to the sponsor, OceanJim. Awesome that we have you.
Yes.
And then take care, everyone. Sail safe. Don't drown. The ocean can be wild.
Definitely. Yep. So for those tuning in on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Later, everyone. Sail away.